Hello everyone, welcome to Global Government News. Today is Thursday, January 6, 2011, and I'm Darko. Welcome to part 2 of this news bulletin, everyone. I still have a lot of news articles to cover. You just saw kind of a silent film there, the surveillance video. I thought it was going to be some kind of audio, but I guess that's just what it is. It's just a hard feed of surveillance. So it says video released in murder mystery of Delaware war vet. At first they were saying that they were looking at it or ruling it a homicide. Now they're saying they're not sure yet. And something is definitely not right with this. The guy definitely doesn't look like he's even sober. He looks like he's either on drugs, some kind of drugs, or alcohol or something. But it says Eyewitness News had obtained exclusive surveillance video of a former presidential aide that was taken 2 days before his body was found dumped in the Delaware landfill. The fact that he was dumped in a Delaware landfill kind of points that it was basically people who didn't want him to keep living. So, but anyways, yeah, I don't know what to make of it. I guess we'll eventually find out about it. But like I said in the last video, he did work for the Army and the Pentagon, in charge of the biological and chemical warfare type stuff there. And I believe, if I read the article from earlier correctly, he was against the use of it. So he was also one that headed up the Memorial for Veterans Cemetery. So who knows? Maybe he wasn't liked for whatever reason. But either way, we're going to move on here. 3 Chinese police officers killed in rare shootout. I like how they said that, a rare shootout, because they don't have guns, because there's they're not allowed to have guns. So it's rare that there's a shootout with the cops, right? And it's also the reason why they're the least free. A pair of murder suspects killed 3 police officers in a shootout after going on a carjacking spree in eastern China. And it says a new report said Wednesday, a rare case of gun violence in a country where private firearms ownership is illegal. And so that's why you get these individuals that go into preschools and start knifing up and murdering young children because, well, I don't know. I don't know if that's why it is. I'm just saying that there's something not right over there, because there's been at least 2 or 3 different incidences with knife attacks on young people in China. It says here 2 civilians and 4 police officers were also wounded in the shootout in Tang City in the eastern coastal province of Shandong. The suspects hijacked 4 cars in a row, shooting 2 of the drivers before they were rammed by the squad car, the China daily newspaper said. 3 officers died in the shootout with the gunmen, who were armed with a handmade pistol and a double-barreled shotgun. One of the suspects shot himself to death. Another was taken into custody. Says the paper said the men were suspects in a killing a month ago in nearby Dezhou City and had been hiding at the apartment of a relative. Said China has little gun crime, but has seen a rise in the black market trade of smuggled and homemade weapons, promoting a nationwide crackdown last year on illegal firearms. So there you go. And I just got to throw this out there. It's the people that kill people. It's not the guns that kill people. But unfortunately, people are really stupid and naive, and they think that the state is the purveyor of morality, and yet they don't understand that they are actually the purveyor of violence and immorality. So why would you want to give people who are immoral, who are enslaving you, who are pointing a gun at your head if you don't pay taxes, quote, voluntarily, instead of allowing yourself as an individual to defend yourself against any other citizen stealing your property, but most importantly against a government in case it basically goes crazy and doesn't respect your individual rights. So, but see, China has never really had that freedom, I don't think. So unless you live out in the rural areas where most of them probably don't have guns because they can't afford them anyways, they're just farmers. But yeah, that's how it is when you live in those huge mega cities, though. It's really easy to crack down on crime, like in Chicago, right? Gun bans and that. Although I believe they reversed it recently. Crew uses safe room to foil Somali pirate attack. I like this article. Suspected Somali pirates boarded a British flag tanker but abandoned the siege after the crew locked themselves in a safe room and retained control of the vessel, a naval task force said Tuesday. And why is this interesting? Because I've always made the point that, you know, all of these Somali pirates will go away if these private companies, these freighters, would just hire some damn security on their boats, right, and protect themselves and arm these guys that are on here on the boats, right? The people, the actual crew, arm themselves, train them. You know what I mean? Come on, people. They just want to rely on this task force, right? So they could, the whole point really is to have this naval task force, which is not for Somali pirates. Trust me. So it's good that they actually took action and they left. The Somali pirates were probably confused. They were probably like, where'd they all go? We had a deal here. We had a deal. Where did they go? They locked themselves. Well, we better leave. We better get on our little skiff boat and hop back in the waves and climb down a ladder and scurry about. They probably curses. Romania's witches forced to pay income tax. Everyone curses the tax man, but Romanian witches, angry about having to pay up for the first time, are planning to use cat excrement and dead dogs to cast spells on the president and the government. Also among Romania's newest taxpayers are the fortune tellers, but they probably should have seen it coming. And no laughing matter, man. I mean, that episode from the X-Files with the Romanian mother and her parents, and then the child, where they draw swastikas all over him, trying to protect him because he's basically got an evil spirit in him. Either way, they kind of delve into their culture, and man, so they take that stuff serious, about as serious as the people in Haiti with voodoo. So we'll see. People in America, they just, like I said, they think that they voluntarily pay the income tax and that it's always been like that. They don't realize that the Federal Reserve Act was passed, and then the income tax was kind of it was actually shot down, and then somehow they snuck it through later, but it hasn't always been there. It says Utah's $1.5 billion cybersecurity center underway. It says Thursday's groundbreaking for a $1.5 billion National Security Agency data center is being built. It says as important in the short term for construction jobs. Oh, it's going to create jobs, see? Important in the long term for Utah's reputation as a technology center. So there you go. So it'll bring 5,000 to 10,000 new jobs during its construction. And it's a cybersecurity center, $1.5 billion. So you can go and check out that story. Got to keep moving. U.S. sets up center for secret war. The U.S. administration is ramping up a, quote, secret war on terror groups and hot spots around the globe by establishing a new military targeting center. And it says a new center would be a significant step in streamlining targeting operations previously scattered among U.S. battlefields abroad, giving elite military officials closer access to Washington decision makers and counter-terror experts, says the AP. The Mind's Eye, you can check this out. I'll post a link. This is from DARPA's actual website. Their own press release, Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, DARPA kicks off Mind's Eye program, and talking about creating technology that here it basically says humans perform a wide range of visual tasks with ease, something no current artificial intelligence can do in a robust way. They have an inherently strong spatial judgment and are able to learn new spatial-temporal concepts directly from the visual experience. And it said a machine-based implementation of such abilities is broadly applicable to a wide range of applications, including ground surveillance. And they did have a picture on the website, and it was basically something similar to Terminator, the red eye. So there you go. It's all about phasing out the human element and bringing in the machines to do the work, so people don't have to think about killing people. You just let the machines kill people. And remember, it's not about terrorists. All this stuff. It's about innocent, freedom-loving people. So DARPA and Raytheon building new ad hoc mobile network for the military. That's what we just covered in the story prior to the last one. Drone may be coming to Miami. A new piece of technology may soon be coming to South Florida, but is already raising concerns from residents. Said the Miami PD recently finalized a deal to buy a drone, which is unmanned plane equipped with cameras. Says drones have been used for years in Iraq and Afghanistan in the war against terror, and now it's being used against the war against liberty and sovereignty here at home, right? That's what they're doing over there in Iraq and Afghanistan. If you don't know that, you better realize it, because that's what they're doing. Not only are they over there conquering and just feeding into the military-industrial complex, all those companies and all the contracts, and basically consolidating all their power and wealth, talking about the bankers and that, and corporations. but they're also training them to be able to handle civil unrest when they come back to the United States in the near future here, when there will most likely be civil unrest due to the breakdown in the economy. Facebook generation suffer from information withdrawal syndrome. This says this will be your next wallet swiping your iPhone. State TV says Iran did not arrest American women. It's put out there all around the news today that they did. Ex-CIA official charged in leak on Iran program. Federal authorities arrested a former CIA official on Thursday, accusing him of leaking classified information in New York. And he said that he had worked in Iran. This is the most recent false flag government-sponsored terrorist attack. Packages flare up at 2 Maryland state buildings. Package in Baltimore search deemed unfounded. So they'll probably tie it eventually tomorrow in the news. They'll tie it to Yemen and that, saying that it's Al-Qaeda and a plot, and they foiled it. So see, what does this do? Not only does it all keep the fear factor up in the public, so they're not able to actually think for themselves, think clearly. They're always in that fear-based mentality. But it also sells the police state. It sells the Big Brother state. It sells the war on terror, which is all a fraud, right? So if they carry it out themselves and then they do these little incendiaries like Christmas Day bomber, which was never intended to bring down the plane, just like this, just to create smoke and fire and basically just kind of scare people, it just makes the public think that there's an actual threat, and that them stopping it is justification or legitimizes the whole big war on terror infrastructure that's been set up post 9/11. But like I said, it's all been set up for you, the individual. London on alert amid serious terror threats. So there you go. More terror threat to London. Stations and airports, train stations across London have been put on high alert amid fears of a terrorist attack on transport hubs. Spy talk. Islamic group is a CIA front, ex-Turkish intel says here. A memoir by a top former Turkish intelligence official claims that a worldwide moderate Islamic movement based in Pennsylvania has been providing cover for the CIA since the mid-90s. Moving on to a Press TV article, Israeli warplanes attack Gaza again. And it says here, Israeli warplanes have carried out 3 airstrikes on the Gaza Strip, but there is no word yet of any possible casualties. Israel should apologize, says a Russian poll. From the People's Daily Online, Gaza militants fire homemade rocket at southern Israel. This is January 6th at 8:25. And move on. Israelis killed 2 Palestinians in Gaza. So Palestinians have recovered the body of 2 men who were shot dead overnight by Israeli forces in northern Gaza, medics say. Angry crowd forces Israeli Prime Minister to halt speech. Angry relatives of 42 Israelis killed in a huge forest fire last month forced Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to stop his speech Wednesday at a ceremony honoring the dead. Last up, Israel said would keep Gaza near collapse, says WikiLeaks. This is GGN, and I'm Darko. Thank you.